What's up, guys? Today I'm doing a video on a cool shotgun. This is the Kel-Tec KSG, a Bullpup shotgun. Now this isn't a new shotgun. I've been seeing them for a while. Just never pulled the trigger on one. But I found a deal on this one because it's green and I'm guessing it's not as popular. So I decided to pull the trigger on it. And I've had it for, I don't know, a couple months now. Actually probably a little bit longer than that, but I've been able to really test this shotgun out, and I'm actually a really big fan. Not everybody likes Kel-Tecs because of the way they look, the plastics they use, the screws holding the two halves together. I get that. I don't particularly like the box pattern. I don't know what you'd call it. I think it looks a little bit cheap, but on the KSG I don't mind it as much. But I would change out that forend for a like an M-lock forend if that was a thing. But anyways, I do like how this shotgun looks with the green and the gray. So, but this is a Bullpup shotgun. For those who might not be aware, Bullpup is when you move the action into the stock. As you can see, this is a very compact firearm. Now this is my Weatherby 12 gauge shotgun. Yeah, I know, it's really pretty. And it barely fits on camera. It's a long shotgun. Well, anyways, you can see how long of a firearm it is. So imagine you took the action's right here, and you moved it into the stock. Look how much room you would have. So the shotgun would be that long instead of that long. With this design, you get an 18.5 inch barrel, but having a, I think it's 26.5 overall length. So it's a very compact shotgun, and I really like it. It's one of the few pump action shotguns I think is a viable consideration for home defense, because you get 14 rounds of capacity and a very short, compact design, and you can maneuver this around a house or an apartment in a home defense situation very effectively. And that's what I like about this. And again, you have 14 rounds of capacity. Now, it ejects it out the back, and that leads me to my one malfunction I've had with this shotgun. I had a coat with really baggy sleeves, and it acted like it was almost a basket for the shotgun shells coming down. For the most part, it was just collecting them, but there was one time it actually fed one of the spent shells back into the chamber. It was really weird. Sadly, my mic went out while I was at the range. If you guys have watched my channel long enough, you'll know that's something I struggle with, is my lapel mic going off all the time.
Survivor! Alcohol. Zero reason to exist.
Talking about the ejection port, that's also where you load in your shells, and that's where my favorite and my most hated feature are. So you have this lever back here where you can actually shut off a mag tube. I really like that because you can load up, let's say, the right tube, load it up with slugs, and then have the left tube with buckshot or whatever you want. There's also a middle position that I actually loathe, where you can't feed anything. It just shuts off both tubes. I made a YouTube short about this, and a lot of people said that I was confusing this with the UTS 15, I guess, where if you had a middle position, it like fires from both tubes, so it feeds from the left and the right, then the left and the right. I was under the impression the KSG did that too, but no. The middle position means it's all shut off, and I really don't like that. It's funny. Every time I bring that up, people say that's just a me problem. So I guess with training, that's not really that big of a deal. But to me, it pisses me off. But I guess a lot of people upgrade that lever, that cutoff lever, so that you can easily hit it with your hand. I guess it extends out further, and they say that's not as big of an issue. With training, I probably wouldn't mind that feature, but the first time I took it to the range, it did definitely piss me off. All right, so I'm going to show you the benefit of having that mag cutoff for the left and right. So right here I have some Wolf rifled slugs, and then here I have some Wolf buckshot. There's 7. Okay, then I flip it, and in the right one I can put the buckshot. When you're loading the tubes at the back, there's a lot of edges that rub against you. So the first time you load it, your thumb's gonna feel a little raw, but trust me, with anything, if you finger it enough, you'll get used to it. But you can see the cuts right here, and it shows that these tubes are loaded. I think that's kind of cool. Oh man, you could definitely feel the recoil in that hand. Keith, last time he was shooting, told me about it, but I didn't really notice it with the bird shot, but I definitely noticed with the buckshot. You do still have to put a round into it. All right.
Just like I said, you notice a lot of recoil right here in your hand.
Now, let's say you want to switch to slugs. You just flip this down, and you pump in the slugs. All right. I am not looking forward to this. I shot 2 shots at the steel target I had down there. Woo! Damn, did it knock it around. But the shotgun handled it better than I thought it would. Honestly, the buckshot seemed to kick more than the slug did. You have a safety, which is a push button or a cross bolt safety. So I find it's really easy for me to actually actuate it. My trigger finger coming up off the trigger can hit it easily, and then my thumb hits it on the other end. So I can actually actuate that cross bolt safety very effectively. I push the pump forward, it's locked into battery. The only way to release it is this little lever by the trigger guard, which releases it. Now, my buddy Keith from lewd69.com, he had the hardest trouble with it. I don't know why. I can see where, like, if your index finger doesn't extend out that far, it might be a little bit of a pain, but you can always just take your hand off and hit it like that. But he had the hardest trouble with it. But me, I actually like where it is. It's very manageable for me. Moving up on the gun, on the rail, I have Magpul backup sights that didn't come with the gun. I actually had them from a previous build. I've actually had these things forever. So I decided to slap them on here. And then I had an optic that I threw on here. Now, I was sent a whole bunch of these optics for testing, and they wanted me to see how well it handles recoil. And for like a 5.56 rifle and some 308s, it did fine. But this shotgun killed it. Yeah, so keep that in mind that this is a 12 gauge shotgun. You're going to need to look at reviews of optics and make sure the optic you pick is one that will withstand 12 gauge. I wanted something different when I was putting this gun together. I have a whole bunch of firearms that have Magpul stuff on it, so I didn't want to go that route again. Let me show you. See, I have a Delton AR-15 that has a Magpul forward grip, and talking about Kel-Tec, I have another one, the RDB, that has a Magpul forward grip. So I wanted to change it up. I have enough Magpul forward grips. What do they even call this? The shift forend grip. And how you're supposed to hold it is like this. Like you put your pinky down here and then you put your hand up like that, which is actually pretty comfortable. But the way I use it on this shotgun is like a vertical grip, and I grab it and then my trigger finger goes up like this, like it's a trigger, and I hold it like this. And I actually find this a lot more comfortable than the Magpul grip. That's just me. And for me, I'm not going to slip off this because you're very close to your muzzle. I don't want to slip off or have the forward grip break and then you're out past your muzzle, because this thing is very short. If you got yourself a cheap Chinese vertical grip that would break and you're pumping forward, more than likely your hand is going to be out past the muzzle. So something to keep in mind, since this is a compact gun, you need to have a quality forward grip. And I also don't like just pumping it like that, because I feel like I'd almost slip off doing that, even though I haven't even tried it, because I got this grip pretty early on. But for me, very, very comfortable, not going to slip off. It's very well made and very easy to cycle this thing or pump this shotgun. So I am a huge fan of it. And I went a step further, and I had these rail covers that I had from, I think it was a Mossberg 464 Tactical back when I was 18. When I sold the rifle to a gun shop, I forgot to give them the rail covers, so I had them around. I ended up cutting them to fit so that even though I have my hand very high up on it, it's not rubbing against that plastic rail. It's actually rubber, so it feels a lot more comfortable to have your hand far up on the grip. So this is actually a lot more comfortable than I would have ever expected, because I had this grip on my AR-15 very briefly and I was not a fan. But on this KSG, I actually really like it. All right. I'm getting better. I felt that there was nothing. Woo! All right. That does hurt a lot more than the birdshot I have been shooting. But as you can see, pretty reliable gun. Shoots well. Honestly, it's a really compact, really reliable firearm. Honestly, this is probably one of my favorite Kel-Tec firearms I've ever handled. Even though, wow, those hot rounds, you feel it in your hand. Insert joke here. Yeah, so it has a weight of 6.9 pounds. So it's a light shotgun. So when I started shooting some buckshot and slugs through it, wow, did it kick. And I was actually surprised. The buckshot kicked a lot more than the slugs, but it handled everything well. This shotgun just works. I really like it. The trigger pull on it kind of sucks. It's a heavy trigger pull, and it's around 5 pounds, but I would not have guessed that the way it feels. But for a shotgun, meh, it's not that big of a deal. Those were the buckshot, right?
That was slug.
That was the slug?
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, tell me if you think this kicks more.
Yeah.
So was it really that bad?
Buckshot.
Yeah,
Slug was fine.
I know. Like, that's what surprised me is when I shot the slugs for the first time. I'm like, oh, this isn't bad. That buckshot hurts.
Yeah, I was regretting shooting the buckshot actually.
Okay. So, well, shit. So there's about 38.
I'm recording, by the way.
Okay, so we have got approximately 38 jars of Bang. We've got peach mango. We've got some other flavors in here.
Hold that up.
Bang, peach mango. We are going to see, will Bang Peach Mango stop a 12 gauge buckshot round out of a Kel-Tec Bullpup?
I'm glad I got one of these things. I love the way they look, especially with that mag tube and the muzzle. I really like the way it looks with those dual mag tubes. I think it looks really cool. And how like compact this shotgun is. I mean, look at that. It's a really decent shotgun. But yeah, I got a really good deal on it. I'm very thankful I bought it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned, guys. There's a lot of cool content coming up. Probably a lot more shorts because, you know, that's what you guys seem to watch. I'm waiting to see if those views get above 3. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. I got a lot of cool stuff coming up.